Hi class, today's lesson is going to be getting your character that you've made for your video game in Piskel and taking that, downloading it, and getting it working with the correct walk cycle. So I'm using this little chicken character that I worked on with my son the other day, and so I've got it open in Piskel. You can see we got our little walk cycle going on here. It's about 6 frames. And I'm going to go to Export, and I select Zip. I'm going to download this as a zip file. You can see I've downloaded it here. Goes to my downloads folder. It'll be a little different location in yours, but you should be able to find it. Once you find it, you will unzip the file, and you will have a folder that'll say the name of your sprite, and it will be a folder. So this mine's called Chickwalk number 1 because I already downloaded it once. So Chickwalk number 1. Then I'm going to go to my game. Now in this case I've actually already uploaded some of the sprites just as placeholders, but I'll walk you through how I did this in Scratch. So here's my character, Leroy Jenkins the chicken. If I go to costumes, I'm just going to delete these so we can run through it from Scratch. So here's my first costume. It's just a standard standing pose. To upload all the sprites for your walk cycle, the first thing you're going to do is go to choose a costume. Then go to Upload Costume, and you are going to find, in my case in my Downloads folder, my Chicken Walk Sprite folder, and you are going to select, click on the first one, hold on the Shift key, and click on the last one, click Open, and you are going to upload all of the sprites. So, we have 6 sprites here. I'm going to get rid, notice that there's a slight change here, so I just want to make sure that I do have, so 1, 2, 3, okay, those 2 are the same, so I had one extra one from before, so I'm just going to make sure that it's properly put in here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. So I got all my sprites, they're all in order. You can rearrange them if they're having some sort of issues, but they should all be in order. Then I'm going to go to my code, and you will remember from when we were working on this before, we've got a couple of different blocks of code here that do various things. But you'll remember the first block of code that we made, which was our movement code. So we set our rotation style in here, so we have our pointed direction, so we don't need to do any directional changes. If I give this a little test, you can see that right now my chicken moves around just fine, back and forth, but he obviously does not have any sort of animation to him. Doing animation for this is incredibly easy. You got 2 different options. You can either rebuild it from scratch, or we can duplicate some existing code and just modify it, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to right click here, hit duplicate, and I'm going to duplicate my entire movement block. Then I'm going to delete everything I don't need just by clicking on it and hitting delete. We're going to zoom right in here. And we are actually going to delete everything that isn't the key arrow pressed. So we're going to take this down, pretty much to brass tacks of where we started, where we have our forever check. And we have our key right arrow pressed, key left arrow pressed, key up pressed, and key down pressed. Now, the code to make this guy walk is just really, really easy. We're just going to drop next costume inside each of these key arrow pressed blocks, right? So this one's actually controlling the XY position and the direction of our character. This one is only basically saying, is the key being pressed? Yes. Then let's cycle through the costumes. We will want to go in though and add some weight code. I like to do 0.07. I found is a pretty solid weight between frames. I can actually also do that up here. So 0.07, and then when I drag it in, I don't have to retype that in a bunch of times. Okay, and there we go. It doesn't really matter if it's a weight, then next costume, or next costume weight. Let's give it a little test. Okay, he's moving actually faster than his walk cycle. I like how these guys are So he's still a little faster than these guys. Ooh. But I don't like that it's not quite moving fast enough for me for the walk cycle. So I'm actually going to drop this a little further. I'm going to do 0.03 on all these. 0.03. 0.3 is very different than 0.03. You'll see here. Let's give that another try. Right, chickens walk pretty fast. Yeah. That just seems to work a little bit better with the speed that he's actually moving. And now he can kind of go around, pick up his items in the game. Right now, obviously, these guys aren't very fast. So you can see that in my level 2, I have not yet done all my upgrades as far as changing up for level 2. But go back to level 1. Level 1's looking pretty solid. I'm going to keep on working on this and get together a pretty nice little game for the Chicken Man.